I'd be happy. Does anyone have a question? Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's okay. So I feel the most balanced inside when I'm focused on the root chakra and not necessarily the third chakra. Is that
you're doing what? Tell me what.
So when I focus on the root chakra is when I feel the most balanced inside, as opposed to focusing on the navel.
I don't know. Do what you want to do. I mean, I'm only teaching you what I have learned through years of how this meditation works. And I always thought the root chakra was the chakra below the navel. You know, I mean, I don't know what you consider to be the root chakra.
The base, like the bottom, the base of the spine, I guess, or just the bottom of me.
Well, look, you're going to drive yourself crazy. But what am I going to do? I talk about this 50 times a week. And if you want to do what you want to do, do what you want to do. I can't control the way you do this work. But if you focus on the energy of Kundalini without having, you know, the root chakra really working or the foundation chakra working for you, you're going to make yourself crazy. The energy is too strong.
Okay.
But look, I get tired of this. You know, I talk about this over and over again, and then people do what they want to do. And I can't control that. You have to certainly make these decisions for yourself. You know, and I've learned after doing this for 50 years now, what works. You know, what works. I'm trying to teach people what works. I've even spent the morning writing about this. I have this thing with Tantra going on my website, working on this whole thing of what works. But if you want to do what you want to do, then do it. And tell me later how it, it got you closer to your spiritual enlightenment. I don't know what to say, you know? I mean, I think it's very dangerous to focus on the Kundalini, the chakra right at the base of the spine. I think that energy is so powerful that if you are not grounded in yourself, if there's no foundation, it can burn you right up. It's the danger of drugs. They activate Kundalini, marijuana, LSD, but people don't have enough balance and strength in themselves to deal with that kind of energy. So I don't know what to tell you. You know, I mean, you can go to the local sanitarium and find hundreds of people that have had Kundalini experiences. You know? And they're there because they have no grounding in themselves. And that energy is so powerful that it truly, can throw you completely off balance. So I would be careful about doing that. I mean, I'm not there and I don't live your life. And I talk about this enough that it's a little shocking to me that people really don't hear what I'm talking about. Or maybe I'm off base. Maybe you get more grounded focusing at the base of the spine. I don't think so, but I might not, I don't know everything. I mean, part of teaching this is really protecting people. Because I have learned over the years that very few people, and this is shocking to me, who even studied with Rudy, do not do Rudy's work today. They do all kinds of other stuff that has nothing to do with what Rudy taught. They have a big picture of Rudy there, and they don't do what Rudy taught. And that to me is kind of shocking, because people get into their heads, they know better, they're finding easier ways to do it, easier ways to control people. This open eye meditation, you can't control anybody. Understand? Because people find their own unique creativity inside themselves. But that unique creativity has nothing to do with the basics of the meditation, which is getting focused, getting grounded, opening your heart, getting the mind quiet, getting energy flowing through the whole chakra system. That's the basis of all of this. And then the uniqueness, the creativity comes in your daily life. Everybody lives differently. And I think that's wonderful. But you got to go back to basics in order to get the real creativity. Some people are musicians and singers and actors and, lawyers and doctors, and, their lives are different. But in order to live that unique life, the very foundation has to be strong. And if you start putzing around with the meditation, you're not going to do that. If I have any strictness in what I do, is that. Don't putz around with the meditation. Do it the way Rudy developed it and the way I teach it and he taught it. And then let the uniqueness be in your daily activity. And each of us has a completely unique karma, different activity that we have to do during the day. But you go back to the basics. It's like if you learn to play the piano, you got to constantly go back to the basics in order to be a great musician. If you learn to sing, you got to go back to the basics in order to be a great singer. You don't start putzing around with the basics, but they allow you to improvise in the way energy manifests in the world. I hope this is clear because I don't know. It's in everything. You want to be a doctor, you got to go back to the basics. You got to be a lawyer, you got to go back to the basics. A plumber, if you don't go back to the basics, you're dangerous. I remember when I lived in Texas, there was a university down the street from where I lived, and they built like an 18, 20-story building. And the plumbing in the building was off kilter, and it went up. Anyway, they had to condemn this 20-story building because the plumbers didn't go back to the basics and know what they were doing. It was extraordinary. This big building there was condemned. It was a big dormitory, and they had to condemn it. So it's in everything in life. You got to go back to the basics. Then you improvise. I listened to Miles Davis play the trumpet. The guy is a master of the basics and a master improviser. John Coltrane, master of the basics of playing the saxophone, master improviser, because he is strongly connected to the basics of his instrument. This is no different. And I'm not trying to, crack a whip and get people, I've cracked enough whips in my life to know that it doesn't work. I'm just trying to protect people and give you years of doing this and knowledge about the way it works and how not only it works in meditation, it works in everything you do in your life. You've got to be grounded in the basics. Don't putz around with the basics. Let your life be one extraordinary improvisation that comes out of the foundation, the base. You have 1,000 buildings. Every one of them has a foundation, and they all are different. Different architects, different plans, different, But everyone has a foundation, but everyone is different.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have I didn't plan on talking about this today, but anyway, what the hell, it's a good talk. And I hope people learn, really learn. I mean, because I've seen it. I mean, I have people now coming back to me who I haven't seen in 30 years, wanting to know about education in Rudy's meditation technique. I mean, this is extreme. I mean, I have a guy, somebody emailed me the other day. Unbelievable. I haven't seen this person since 1973. I don't even remember the person. I used to teach a class at the University of Texas in Arlington, and I was teaching Kundalini Yoga. It was an accredited course in Kundalini Yoga. And this guy, I was in your class in 1973. And I will never forget you talking about getting grounded inside and the very basics of the core of my being and how much this has helped me in my life. And I just want to say thank you. 1973, it's 50 years ago. I don't even know who this person is, And I got this email 3 days ago. It's amazing. So please learn what is being taught. Let it get you so strong inside yourself that you can improvise with your life and constantly go back to the basics and the grounding to give you the strength to do it. Then your life becomes fun. It really does. Does anyone else have a question they would want to ask? I'm not asking people to live the way I live. Nobody can live their life the way I've lived my life. It's impossible. It's even me impossible to reproduce it and try to live that, continue to live that way. I have to always recognize how things are changing. But you can live your own unique life. Just have the strength inside by always going back to the basics. Being grounded in the chakra below the navel, keeping the heart open, having a quiet mind, drawing energy through the sex that activates Kundalini. And then the Kundalini will give you a spiritual life. It will go into the crown chakra and then out into the cosmos and connect you with God. And then you have your karma. And your karma could be improvisation. It doesn't have to be the same all the time. It could be improvisation. Just have the strength to do it. Be like Miles Davis. Have the power to play trumpet like a great master and improvise, knowing all the basics. Or any of the great musicians, Horowitz, Rubinstein, all these extraordinary piano players, who concert pianists, Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? Okay. And I wrote this thing for my Tantra thing, number 33, believe it or not. I'm only on 20 that's been published. But it all has to do with getting to the basics and how you can't force your way to get there. How you have to truly relax into it You have to you can't make it happen. You have to just deeply relax and allow that energy to strengthen the foundation of your being. If you try to make it happen, if you try to use your ego, your charisma, or your personality, the force of your will to make this thing happen, all you're going to do is tighten yourself inside. You're going to get more tense. But just to relax, and relax by bringing the attention below the navel, opening the heart. How do you open the heart? Not by forcing it to open, but feeling gratitude. And you're not going to feel gratitude unless you're really relaxed inside. None of us are going to make it happen. We all will let it happen by deep surrender, by letting go, and by relaxing and allowing the energy to work on us. Okay, does anyone, I don't know, all these people are missing here. I have just names. I'm not sure they're listening to this. Does anyone have a question they would like to ask? Everyone who left something they shouldn't have left. This was really important talk, you know? I don't know. Making money and all this other stuff. I don't know. I don't know anything. I give up, you know? Just take my life a moment at a time. I'm enjoying it. It's wonderful. And I'm enjoying connecting with all of you. And the less I know, the better. You know, really, I mean that. The less I know, the better. The more open I am to receive the knowledge that emanates from the cosmos, which is not my brain trying to manufacture things that I think are right in the world, you know? So from my humble lack of knowledge, I really tell you all, I am deeply grateful for your presence here, for all of you being in my life. God bless you all. And you are really all, your presence is helping me to learn and grow. So thank you and God bless you all. And there'll be a class on, what is today, Tuesday? I don't even know the day anymore. It'll be class on Thursday, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. You know, God bless you. Have a wonderful day and allow your karma to be creative. Get grounded inside and live a creative life. Don't be afraid to live a creative life. Well, what's wrong with it? Nothing. So God bless you all, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on Thursday.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Stuart.
Thank you.
Thank you.